Is it Gerald? Hello?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, you had a question? You're from Austin, though, right?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah. My question is, I wanted to know, are you really an atheist? Like, you don't believe in any kind of God or any kind of religion whatsoever?
That's correct for both of us, actually.
Yeah. Okay, both of you. Okay. My question is, though, well, it's really not a question, but can you agree that basically all religions have definitely led this world to be a better place?
No, I can't agree to that. I will agree that the religious institutions have played an important role in the betterment of the world, but they've also hindered that as well. I mean, while they're responsible for some of the great institutions of learning, they're also responsible for hindering some of the learning that came out of those institutions. They're destroying the Library at Alexandria, or what they did to Galileo, things like that. And the church is continually struggling to retard scientific progress. So I'm not going to say they're all evil, that they've done no good. They've done good.
Well, the reason why I say it is whether there is a God or there isn't, they definitely, every day, keep millions of people from being murdered for no reasons, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
And what about all the people who are murdered in the name of religion?
Yeah.
And it goes both ways, though. You know,
yeah, it goes both ways. So
I think basically if you're a good person and you're religious, you're a good person. And if you're a bad person and you're religious, you're bad. And I throw those labels around, but really it's like if you're doing bad things and you're religious, it's because you're going to do bad things, not because you're religious. And if you're doing good things and you're religious, you'd be doing good things whether you were religious or not. But I guess I should correct that as well, because sometimes you get a good person who is driven to do bad things because of religion. But you rarely get a person who doesn't want to do good that's going to say, like, grudgingly do good because they have to because of their religion.
I think that religion or something like religion is required in order to get good people to do bad things. That's the only way you can get good people to do bad things. Intrinsically good, normal, healthy, happy people who would normally do good things and be productive, cooperative members of society. The only way you can get them to do evil is by religion or something that is equivalent to religion, some kind of
like
dogma.
A political ideology.
Any kind of fervent ideology. And the question is, if you agree that religion can go both ways, what good is it? We can go both ways without religion, so why not chuck out all the religious baggage? And by the way, I don't really care if it goes both ways. I care about whether or not it's true.
Hey, that made a point there. And it could. We will never know until we die. But wouldn't that suck, though, if you were wrong about being an atheist and you die and you really did go to hell?
Which hell? Whose hell? Which religion?
Yeah, what if I'm a Christian and I die in Islam is correct?
Then, hey, whatever their religion is, that would suck. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and so
we're all pretty much screwed.
So everybody who got it wrong, whether they're an atheist, Scientologist, Muslim, Hindu, Jainist, or Christian, whoever got it wrong is screwed. And yet there's the possibility, here's the thing, is that every one of these religions have different beliefs. They can't all possibly be right, but they can all be wrong. And I'm in the position where I'd much rather live a life that is based on intellectual honesty, where I have no way of determining which of these religions are right. I see no reason to presume that any of them have managed to get it right. I have insufficient evidence to believe any of them, and therefore I'm going to live an honest life and say, no, I don't believe, and I'm not going to believe until I'm presented with evidence. And if I find myself in an afterlife and there is some kind of God there who says, that because I didn't believe, I'm going to be tormented, and I'm just going to say, okay, well then, why didn't you provide sufficient evidence for belief? Did you really create us with a mind that was capable of reasoning out the universe and then make yourself intentionally obscure such that you require leaps of faith that aren't supported by reason? Why on earth would you do that? Was it your goal to just reward the gullible and credulous and punish those people who actually rationally and sanely used intellect in order to assess the universe? I don't want to spend an eternity with a God like that because he's a prick.
That's pretty rude, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that atheists think that gay people are horrible?
That gay people are bad?
Gay people are bad?
Yeah.
No. As a matter of fact, several of the members and co-hosts on this show are gay. The ACA supports equal rights. We're at the Pride Festival every year. I don't I couldn't possibly hold the view that they're bad. Well, why on earth?
I guess I should point out, though, that that's not necessarily
It
an
doesn't.
atheist
Yeah,
view.
it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with atheism.
My church definitely doesn't really think that that's, you know, appropriate, being gay or lesbian or whatever.
Yeah, wait, you're still fading in and out. Am I understanding you correct? You're saying that your church thinks that it's inappropriate to be gay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and so by what standard do they claim that they're correct?
Because God made people to make children.
Sure. They've got a bald assertion that people were created a certain way. Do you agree with them that there's something wrong with homosexuality?
Well, I don't like hanging out with them personally, but I mean, I don't.
Well, I'm pretty sure they don't like hanging out with you either.
I don't think so. I hope not, because you know they're not going to get anything out of it. But
here's an idea. Because you're fading out, I'm going to move on to somebody else, and what I'm going to say is probably going to be viewed as mildly insulting to you, and so I'll apologize in advance. Instead of saying the church you go to believes that atheism that homosexuality is a bad thing, why don't you think for yourself? Why don't, instead of accepting whatever dogma there is or feeling uncomfortable about it, why don't you actually sit down and say, is this ethically or morally right or wrong? What do I think about it, and why? What's the real justification? And if the only justification you can come up with is because the Bible says so, or God says so, or somebody told you a God said, unless you actually get it from God directly, then I think you're relying on really bad reasons for this. Personally, I spent 20, 25 years as a fundamentalist Christian studying to be a preacher. I had to reevaluate all of my positions. This was the single most important thing I ever did, and not enough people ever bothered to do it. We believe whatever we're taught as kids, or whatever religion we adopt. I mean, we're talking about people's nature.
Man.
How is somebody's nature ethically or morally wrong?
It's gross.
That's like saying that they're wrong to be bald or brunette.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being bald or brunette, man.
There you go, and there's nothing wrong with being gay. I got to let you go. We got other callers, but thanks for calling in, Gerald. In all seriousness, Gerald, I'm not just picking on you. This message goes out to everybody, atheist or theist. I don't really care. Most people don't bother to take the time to figure out what they actually believe about different issues, and why.
I can't tell you how many times when I was younger and had discussions with peers that were religious, I would hear the phrase, "We believe that. We believe that."
Yeah.
And it would be like a blanket assertion, like everyone at my church believes this, as if it was just a group thing.
It's a hive mind.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
My preacher told me.
If you believe it, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Say, "I believe this."
My preacher told me that Jesus is more historically verifiable than Julius Caesar. Okay.